I do relate. I think I do relate. I think also that a lot of artists are sad, but then I think all people are. I used to feel like artists are better at expressing it, and when it comes to myself, I go way overboard when creating music, and I make it very dramatic, and I take something that could be, like a small issue, and I make it like a huge one. And it makes me feel like I could be happier as a person outside of music, which is, it just helps me to be a more positive person when I can push all of the negative feelings through my music. I think Meet Me in the Blue is a very personal song. It's also the name of the album. It surprised me that I could write a lyric that is so true, both to myself and to the situation. It was very, it's a very desperate song. It's about this space, the blue, which we can meet someday if you choose me. And it's that feeling of never being chosen by anyone. It's that feeling of like extreme loneliness and putting yourself out there and just saying, hi, I am here, please choose me, please choose a life with me, and getting rejected. And it's really difficult to write about, and it's really difficult to share past experiences. So it's a very real song, and I think every time I perform it, the feelings get very real, and it's very intentional lyrics as well. As you can see on this gorgeous dress, there is a bunch of birds, and one of my songs on the album is also called Birds. We were out in Värmland, which is where I grew up in Sweden. It is a bunch of trees and forest, and it's a big lake. It's actually the biggest lake in Sweden. And there's a small red cottage there where we wrote the songs. Birds was created at the cottage in the small little red house. And we were just looking at the birds outside, seeing them flying in and out of their nests, and they just looked so free. And I just had this little vision of being kept in the dark, feeling like, reaching all those things that you want to do in life. It's really difficult, and I just wished I could fly like the birds. And I think that song became very meaningful to where I am in my life right now, and to just that feeling of, anything should be possible, but how do I get there? Well, I'm a person that hates being told what to do. So I can have an idea and I feel amazing about it, and then someone tells me to do it and I have such a hard time doing it. It has to come from joy and a willingness to create. Otherwise, it will feel flat, it will feel emotionless, and usually especially when doing movies and stuff like that, you can really tell. And I think it's a really hard thing. I'm really working on that, because obviously I want to do things that we plan to do. But I think my freedom is just very important to me, and I think I've been studying different careers before choosing to be an artist, where I wasn't free at all. So now every time anyone puts me in any kind of box or trying to do anything that makes me feel like I'm not a creative person, or I don't get to do whatever I need to do to express myself, then it's very hard. I think a lot of us want to put things into boxes because it just makes more sense doing it. But when it comes to art, I think I would love people to be a bit more free about how they, it doesn't have to be pop, it doesn't have to be classical, it doesn't have to be rock, it could just be sometimes. And I think the more people could just enjoy the ride, and the more creatives could just blur the lines and try out new things and not think so much about what had been done and what inspires them from other artists, but to look within themselves and their surroundings, the better art we would get. So I think boxes are good for understanding the world, but I think for arts they should be kept quite open. I think my artistry is not just music to me. It's art. It's how I present myself. It's the pictures. It's the movies. It's me being theatrical and just playing around. It's this dress. Like, there's so many other creators that I get to spend time with, that I get to share experiences with, and it starts with music. I mean, obviously it starts with me writing a song, but it ends with just connecting with other artists and sharing art. And in the end, I'm sharing it with you guys at home or in the audience. And that is the best moment, when we see all this work and all, we just spend all our days trying to put emotions into movies or to words or to song. And when you guys realize that, okay, this is connecting with me, I'm understanding what they're trying to do, that is the best accomplishment. That's when we're doing it. I think the most important thing about music is to be able to relate. When I see my fans and people surrounding me getting emotional and feeling like they're connecting to the music, that's when I am the most excited as a songwriter. So I think that music that's being shared, it can be any kind of music, is the music that makes me feel like I'm a part of something. There's been several songs where I felt lonely, or I felt a bit down, and then I heard someone sing about something very similar happening to them that's been happening to me, and it's just made me feel like I'm a part of something that happens to people, and it does not have to be the end of the world. It's just something that happens. It's a part of life, and that makes me feel a lot better. So there's a lot of those songs. I wish I knew when I started out that getting time to rewind will be more difficult, that it is important with balance, and that it's okay to say no to things, it's okay to have a bad day, and that I cannot be 110% every day. So I have to accept certain things and maybe to let loose of my control issues a little bit. If I could tell my younger self anything, I would tell her that you will be an artist, and that it will be so much more fun to do arts than to do social studies. So don't start the journey. There's points, but there is so much more fun to do arts. So just be brave, and it will make you a lot more happy.